Welcome to the Practical Growth Podcast. I'm your host, E.B. Johnson, top writer on Medium.com, published author, and master practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming. You've landed on the podcast that takes you on a journey into the heart of relationships and self-discovery. This is a must listen for those who are ready to overcome their toxic relationships and their toxic patterns. You can expect real talk, practical guidance, and raw and relatable guests that you'll be talking about for weeks. Let's get into it. Hello again, my lovelies. It is me, EB, your favorite podcast host, your favorite Medium.com writer, and your favorite TikTok coach and educator. And today, back again. You probably didn't expect to see me 2 weeks in a row, but here we are. And we are going to be deep diving into relationships today. Not family relationships, not toxic moms, not toxic dads, although all of that can certainly apply here. No, what we're talking about today is manipulation. Manipulative relationships, especially the manipulative romantic relationships that we fall into where people try to pull our strings and control us by either emotionally targeting us or creating fear or other kind of forceful means of coercion inside of our relationships. So that's what we're going to get into today. What does this manipulation look like? Why does it happen? And what can we do to stop being manipulated? What can we do to take our power back, to reclaim our kind of sovereignty from people who try to manipulate us within our relationships? I'm going to break it all down for you today and give you the best advice for doing just that, taking back your power and cutting manipulative people off from controlling you. Just one little quick housekeeping thing before we jump in. Spots are still open for my group coaching program. This is a monthly subscription. You can cancel at any time. And what it does is it gives you access to my Practical Growth group coaching community. We meet every week in a live workshop where we discuss ideas, and I teach you new concepts and exercises that help you to regulate your mind, your body, your emotions, and to build better relationships, both with yourself and with other people around you. This is an excellent community. I really can't express that enough. Full of really compassionate people who have seen the worst of the worst of the worst and know what it means to pick yourself up and try to heal. So if you want to become a part of that, if you want to get a community who really supports you, people who are always there to listen, who you can message anytime, ask questions, connect, just get that support, that compassionate, empathetic, because these people have been there. It's empathetic support that you really want and that you really need. If you want to join that, all you have to do is head over to patreon.com/practical growth. That's patreon.com/practical growth. And you can sign up there and it gives you instant access to our private Discord community. So you can instant message right on your phone with everyone, including myself, our weekly live workshops and our live training video library. So if you want to be a part of that, again, head over to patreon.com/practical growth to join. All right. Manipulation, manipulative people who try to control us in these kind of subtle, manipulative, corrosive, damaging ways. What does that look like? Why does it happen? And most importantly, what can we do to stop it? That's what we're going to be getting into today. I know that most of you come here on the back of bad relationships, right? For a lot of people, it's bad relationships with their families, in which they've been abused or kind of neglected, or toxic relationships, right? A lot of you have been married to narcissists, to abusers, to emotionally manipulative people. And that is what this is all about today. This is a big part of building healthy relationships. That is being able to recognize unhealthy behaviors. And manipulation is such a big one because there are a lot of manipulative behaviors that we have actually learned to mistake as love. And it's not. It's all about changing our behaviors for the benefit of someone else. And that is not healthy to do. So that's what we're going to break down today. We are going to give you the tools and the power that you need to stop being manipulated by the toxic people in your life. So first, just right off the bat, let's look at these manipulative behaviors because, a lot of people think, oh, well, manipulation is just like if someone lies to you, they don't tell you the truth so that you do one thing when you would have done the other. And that's certainly a part of it. But manipulation is so much more subtle than that, especially when you come from a kind of systematically abusive or toxic environment, say with a narcissist. So let's look at some of the sneaky ways that manipulative people actually steal your your power, because every manipulator is different. Some use guilt, others stage elaborate stories. No matter how it occurs, though, you end up powerless. So you need to be able to spot the subtleties, the most subtle nuances of these behaviors in order to protect yourself from them. So let's just look at lies. Number one, lie. Yes, lying is a form of manipulation. It's usually one of the first ways that people kind of learn to manipulate other people. They tell everyone around them what they want to hear. A manipulative person does. They will even behave in a way that they don't really believe in or that they don't really feel comfortable with, even if they know it's not true, because they want the other person to do something for them or to believe something about them or to change their behaviors. And a lot of lies, really when it comes down to it, it's about skirting accountability. It's not about not being in the open and about hiding something. So when someone lies to you, there's always some form of manipulation behind it. Number two, you have that guilt, right? Guilt trips, guilt. That is a form of manipulation. Guilt and shame is one of the most powerful ways to change or manipulate human behavior. And, people who try to control you, toxic people, they know that. They love using guilt as a form of manipulation. They will make their partners, their loved ones, feel a sense of guilt about anything, the littlest thing. Let's say you didn't buy the right kind of bread. A manipulative person is going to turn that to their advantage, right? They're going to say, oh, you didn't get my bread. How am I going to have any lunch this week? What am I going to do? Oh, you didn't buy the right kind of bread. Don't you love me? Don't you know anything about me? That is the way that someone might use guilt to manipulate you, to make you in a more powerless position where they kind of have the upper hand. And they'll also, again, use this to avoid accountability and to avoid fights. They want to change your behavior. They don't want you pointing the finger at them when they do something wrong. So they make you the villain, right? Let's say you get mad at your partner because they forgot to show up for something for you. And you're getting into a fight and they say, well, you remember that thing you did to me 6 months ago? That was so terrible. And then all of a sudden you feel really bad. That is using guilt as a manipulative tactic. Number three, love bombing. Love bombing. If you have been in the clutches of a narcissist, then you'll be really familiar with this, right? Love bombing is another one of those classic manipulation tactics, and it's especially favored by narcissistic and really toxic people. This happens when someone basically smothers the other person in love. They just go over the top. They over-idealize themselves. They over-idealize the relationship. They'll say all these loving things. They'll provide all this gift. You will hear yourself saying or thinking, oh my gosh, this person is just so perfect. They're so kind. They're so loving. They're so generous. Oh my God, how did anyone ever become this perfect? And it happens fast. It happens really, really fast. That is to put you into a false sense of comfort, to show you what you want to see so that you will relax into a position where you are powerless and easier to control. Let's talk war tactics. War tactics, number 4. Now this you really have to pay attention to because this is really common in dysfunctional families and these really toxic, really abusive relationships. And essentially what it is this. War tactics involves triangulation. It involves turning people against others within a relationship, within a group, in order to, again, avoid accountability or achieve control. You might see a toxic person, your manipulative spouse, your manipulative partner try to turn your children against you. They will tell them stories that are meant to kind of show you in a bad light, and they will ruin your reputation with others. Once everyone turns on you, once everyone believes you're bad or unreliable or stupid or whatever it is, then they can kind of take over and create whatever story they want. Which brings us to that 5th form of manipulation, setting the story, projection. Toxic people love to project as a form of manipulation. They will basically post or kind of, it's project their guilt, their insecurities onto another person. So let's say you suspect that your partner is cheating and they are. Instead of being accountable for that, instead of telling the truth about that, what they might do is accuse you of cheating first. Well, I cheated because you cheated, or I'm not cheating, you're cheating. That's why you're thinking of it, because you're cheating. This is how they project in order to manipulate. Number 6, I like to call grand expectations. Grand expectations, okay? Most manipulators, they move very subtly. It's not as obvious as like telling a blatant lie that changes the story that you find out about very quickly. That's not how a lot of people do it. It's a build up to these points in which they are able to totally like destroy your sense of self or separate you from your friends and family. And grand expectations is one way they do that. Right from the start, there's this idealization with manipulative people. They kind of project themselves, present themselves in the best light, and they do the same for you. Then they set the bar higher and higher and higher. They create standards that are impossible. There's no way that you are going to be able to perform or act the way they expect you to perform or act. So you're always going to fail. And when you fail, which is a guaranteed, which they know, they are able to criticize you. They're able to admonish you. They're able to say, see, look, I knew that you just weren't smart enough to do that. I knew you just didn't have what it takes, that you just aren't committed. That kind of thing in order to make you feel bad so that they can push you around. And last but not least, with the manipulative people, you really have to look out for false flattery, people telling you what you want to hear in the most diabolical ways. With narcissists, we can see this played out a lot as hoovering. When they get rejected or when they sense they're losing power, they will do hoovering. They will say everything. I love you so much. I'm going to change. I'm going to go to counseling. I'm going to go to therapy. I'll buy you a house. I'll buy you a car. Everything's going to be perfect. Everything's going to change. You're so beautiful. You're so wonderful. You're so talented and lovely. If they're only telling you positives about yourself when you're trying to hold them accountable, when they've gotten in trouble, when they've messed up, they're manipulating you. They don't actually believe those things. They're telling you those things because they know it takes you off guard and it puts you in a different mindset, one in which you won't hold them accountable. Now, that's really powerful stuff. But as I always say, if you're only focusing on, like, let's say manipulation, which is quite a negative experience, right? No one likes to be manipulated. No one likes to admit they've been manipulated. If you're only focusing on the negatives that are happening and you don't also focus on solutions, then what you're doing is you're ruminating. You're stewing in the negativity and you're creating more of it. So, as with everything we do here on Practical Growth, we're going to break it down. If that is what manipulation is, how do we stop it then? Let's end this on a positive. How do we stop it? How do we take our power back from manipulative and controlling people so that they don't do this to us? Number one, you better know the signs, Buttercup. You better know every single sign. You better educate yourself and you better get on Psychology Today or Psych Central or, whatever, like JSTOR, whatever kind of research hub you want to get on. And you better study manipulative behaviors, manipulative people from reputable resources, okay? Because before you can do anything to protect yourself from manipulation, you need to know what the heck it is. And me just glancing over 6 or 7 things in this podcast isn't enough. You need a solid basis of knowledge. For example, did you know that there's 4 stages of manipulation? Those behaviors above are only at one part of the puzzle. There's stages that manipulation moves from. It goes through that idealization that we mentioned. Everything looks perfect. Everything sounds perfect. 2, it moves into isolation. This is when the victims are pushed away from friends and family. They're told they don't love you. They want to upset us. You should stay away from them. They just want to make things bad. And then number 3, devaluation. Devaluation. Once you're isolated, that's when the manipulator can start behaving in a way that makes you feel bad about yourself, no matter what they have to say or do to make you feel that way. And then if you try to break the pattern, it enters stage 4, destruction. Sound familiar? It is. It's a lot like the narcissistic pattern of abuse. You need to understand the patterns. You need to understand the patterns and how they build and how they layer on each other. And to do that, you have to research. Seeing the way in which a manipulative person pushes people around enables you to anticipate their behaviors and to spot them more accurately in your own life. Right. Step number 2, once you have given yourself the knowledge that you need to 100% with confidence identify manipulative behaviors with the wrong intentions, then you got to take a step back and you got to reconsider. Because let me tell you what, when you realize someone's manipulating you, it is so anger inducing. It is so anger inducing, but blowing up, calling them out right then and there is rarely ever the right thing to do. All emotion has its time and place. You're absolutely welcome to be angry. You're justified in your anger. But blowing up and vomiting negativity all over someone is not going to give you the closure or the validation that you think. And if you're dealing with a manipulator, it's only going to reinforce whatever lies and negative stories they've told to other people. Manipulators always use your lowest emotional moment against you. Okay, always. If you take this opportunity to scream and yell at them, then guess what? They're going to use that opportunity to paint you as the villain they've already been telling people that you are. So what do you have to do? Sometimes you just step back. You have to step back, process, and think about what is the most positive way that you can handle it so that you don't regret the way you behaved, so that you act in a way that aligns with your values, and so that you don't give any steam to the lies that the manipulator tells other people. Think about what you want to do. Think about it. How likely is a positive outcome? If you confront this person at all, is it going to change anything? Or would it be better to just walk away from them entirely and just not even deal with the drama? You're the only person who knows who you're dealing with, and you're the only person who knows how you feel. So consider the most positive way to maintain those things for yourself. Step 3, never, ever, under any circumstances, feed the fire. Never, ever, 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 ever. A manipulative person is never going to like having their behaviors called out, no matter what those behaviors are. They will deny, 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 deny. When you peel back their masks, you make them powerless. And what do you think a person is going to do like that when they're already someone who tries to make everyone powerless around them? They're going to become a cornered animal. They're going to fight any chance of exposure, and they are going to lunge for conflict. If that's what you decide to do, if you decide, I need everyone publicly to know that this person has done these things, it's not going to end well. So you need to avoid at all costs every inch of petty conflict. Don't get in word battles with someone who uses word salads. Do not confront them publicly. Don't think, I'm going to get them here. I'm going to have this gotcha moment, because it's not going to work. It's not going to work. If a manipulative person ever seeks a fight with you, ever, it's because they think that they can hide something behind that fight. They think that they can use that fight to their advantage. So do not engage. Never engage in a fight with a manipulative person. They do not play by the rules, and they will not start now. You're going to play by all the rules, and they will not. Leave it alone. Step 4, you better separate their behaviors from your sense of self, because let me tell you right now, they are rarely, if ever, going to change. And if you keep internalizing everything they do as a reflection of your worth, you're going to end up being on the absolute bottom of the floor. Okay? Manipulative people are experts at turning their behavior into someone else's fault. Okay? They make their partners and their spouses responsible for every bad emotion that they have and every mistake that they make. And it creates a tense and resentful environment in which one person, cough, cough, you, ends up doing all the emotional labor, and the other person ends up engaged in endless acts of punishment. Okay? You cannot let manipulative people create that kind of environment for you. You cannot allow them to make you the bad guy or to affect the way you perceive yourself, because you need a strong self-perception. You need a sense of confidence in order to go out into the world and conquer it. So separate their behavior from your view of self. It has nothing to do with you, and it never did. It doesn't affect your worth as a parent, a lover, a partner, a friend, a worker, nothing. Instead, see how they act. Choose to see that as the decision they make. See it as a reflection of them, not of you. And last but not least, you need to prioritize your boundaries. That's step 5. Prioritize your boundaries if you want to take your power back from a manipulative or controlling person. What does that mean? It means that you reach for your happiness, your safety, your security, and your success before you allow someone else to dump their misery in your back garden. Okay? It's not yours to deal with. Their misery, the miserable lives they're building for themselves, that just absolute chaos and negativity that they're dragging in that cart behind them, it ain't yours and never was. Okay? Manipulative people are not manipulative because they're happy. They're manipulative because they're miserable. They have something inside of them that they're trying to hide. Don't let them hide it in your life. Okay? At some point, you're going to have to take a stand. If you are dealing with a highly manipulative person in your life, you're going to have to stop looking for them to just magically change overnight because of how much you love them. And you're going to have to start prioritizing your happiness over their bad behavior. Okay? You have to draw the line. You've got to decide what to do when someone denies your boundaries over and over and over again. Are you gonna accept that? Because if that is the case, then however you're feeling right now, whatever kind of misery, hurt, sadness you're feeling right now, you will feel that forever. If you don't change your relationship with them, the relationship you have with them will feel the same forever. So decide where the manipulator in your life really needs to be. Do they deserve full access to you emotionally? Do they deserve to be front and center? Or do they need to be relegated to the outskirts of your life? Do they need to be cut out entirely? That's up to you. Here's what you have to remember about this journey, okay? There is nothing in the world that's ever going to justify their manipulative behavior. It just is not true. If it was a good thing that they were doing, if it had the right intentions, if it came from the right place, then it would be spoken of openly. They would address it openly. They would ask for it openly. They would demand it openly. It's not. It's not. That's why they have to sneak around. That's why they have to push you around, pull your strings with dishonesty. Humans are at our best when we're honest, open, and upfront with our feelings. We're at our best. We connect the best. We have the smoothest relationships when we're honest, open, and receptive. Stop settling for dishonesty, because that's ultimately what manipulation is. Stop it. Know what you're worth. Know that you can communicate honestly and be safe doing it. You can be safe. Asking for what you need, setting a boundary shouldn't come with a negative reaction. If it does, you need to question who you're with. The seed of change starts with you. You can plan it now. You can embrace the idea that you deserve more, that there is more, that things can be better, or you can settle for what you're feeling and doing right this second, all by yourself, listening to this podcast. Pursue a higher state of communication, a higher state of connections in your relationships, and hold everyone around you, including yourself, to higher standards. Why? Because that's what you've always deserved. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope this episode's been illuminating. I hope it's been encouraging, motivating, whatever it is. I hope it's given you what you've needed. If you love the podcast, then please head over to Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star review. This doesn't just help me, because let me tell you, podcasting is not fun. And it's very, very difficult, and I don't get paid for this. I don't get paid for the podcast. This benefits you guys. I do this because I've been told time and time again that this helps all of you. So if you want to help me, please, the smallest thing I can ask, please head over to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review, tell them what you loved. Once your review goes live, if you take a screenshot of that and send it to me, I'll send you a free ebook right from my shop, free ebook. And there's nothing better than that. So help me, leave a 5-star review and help other people, because that's how they find it, right? The more 5-star reviews you leave, the more Apple says, hey, this is something that can help people, and they will show it to people who it can help. So everybody wins, and it doesn't cost you any money, just a few minutes of your time. So thank you for doing that. Very, very grateful in advance. And I'm just grateful for all of you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for reading. Thank you for following me on TikTok. It's been great. You guys have really changed my life, and I'll be forever grateful. So until next time, keep your heads up, keep your eyes on the stars, and keep moving forward. I'm going to go celebrate my birthday in style. You guys have a great weekend. Bye-bye.